Hey folks, Fernando doing another video for the Modern Survivalist, and it's time for a new EDC update. Haven't done one of these in a while, and the reason is always the same. I don't change things all that much. I usually stick to the same setup that has been working for me over the years. It's summer now, and there's maybe a couple little changes here and there, so that's worth going through. Let's start with the same old stuff that always has been sticking around lately. The same old wallet. This is the same wallet that I've had for the past couple years, just a black wallet. I like that the cards go in that direction so as to not drop them, and I always want to have a pocket for coins. And this has been surprisingly solid. It's a locally made wallet. There's nothing special about it, but when you find a good product, you want to buy a couple so as to have spares. So yes, I have a few of these in other colors, but just a typical, nothing special about it. A simple wallet. A phone. This is the LG G6. Still a bit of an older phone now, but when you have a good phone, changing it over every couple of years just doesn't make a ton of sense to me. It takes great pictures, and I have it with the Spigen Armor case, which is very solid. Dropped it several times, no problem. I'm really not missing my old OtterBox Defender case, which was huge and bulky. This is far more streamlined, and I just slip this in my pocket, and I just try not to sit on it, but other than that, no problems whatsoever. In terms of knives, sticking with the ZT0630, which is this knife. I'll leave the links below for these stuff in Amazon, especially now with Benchmade, all that drama, and people looking for maybe another knife company that kind of represents them better, or at least has their same values regarding firearms ownership. There's a lot of people looking to change into something different. Zero Tolerance is a good company, and this model in particular, the 0630, it's an Emerson collaboration, which has this hook thing, which as you remove it from your pocket, it deploys the blade automatically. That's pretty cool. Once you get used to it, you just pull the knife from the pocket, and the blade just jumps kind of on its own because it hooks the fabric on the side, and it's a very nice solid knife, and the construction is of course fantastic. I leave the link. I don't think they have this same version, but check it out. Maybe they still do. With Zero Tolerance, they end up changing most of their line pretty often, so you kind of have to grab what you like at that moment. A little bit of lens. This is a knife that I carry a lot but don't use all that much. Just a beautiful knife, but also very functional as well. Talking about functional knives, another great brand and also very gun friendly is the Cold Steel knives. This is Voyager Tanto Combo Edge, which straight and serrated edges. I don't know why I brought this knife out some time ago, and I was carrying it as well. This one is the one I carry the most. This one I carried lately a few times. I don't know why, but this is a line I like very much. It's sort of those oldies but goodies one. It's not as popular as it once was, but it's a fantastic blade, and I love this line of Cold Steel. I have a few of these in different blade shapes, and it's a proven model in my opinion. It's very solid as well. Maybe one of the strongest knives, one of the strongest folding knives they've made. In terms of multi-tool, sticking to the same old Leatherman Charge TTI that I've carried for years. This is maybe the oldest thing in my EDC, and not only the oldest, but the one that's been carried the most. This has been stuck in my pocket for literally decades now. So yeah, it's a fantastic multi-tool. Decades, well, at least over a decade for sure. And I mean, nothing new to it. If you cannot afford the Leatherman Charge TTI, the Wave is also great. The Charge is nice because you have a little bit of a better steel there in the blade, which makes it a little bit more durable. And as you see, this blade of mine has been used over the years, sharpened, and it holds an edge well. Maybe if it had been the Wave model with 420 HC steel, I would have worn it a lot more because it doesn't hold an edge nearly as much. It's very functional, utilitarian steel, but not as nice as S30V. Other than that, the tool that I use the most by far. In terms of what else? In terms of watch, I'm still using my Casio Pro Trek. It's a very solid, reliable watch. Doesn't look bad either, but it's very lightweight and has a few features that I enjoy, such as being solar powered, so you don't have to worry about batteries over the years. It has that barometric chart pressure the graphic showing you how the weather is going to be looking like, a altimeter, barometer, the compass as well. So it has several features that come in handy every once in a while. So I have a hard time replacing with something else. Certainly not with some of these smart watches that you need to charge all the time. I'm used to never even changing batteries as years go by. I don't see myself at all recharging my watch every few days or so. I had been using my Black Monster, the Seiko Black Monster, and beautiful watch. I like it. It's very solid as well. It has a feel to it because of all the steel and the weight it has, the hinges, the noise it makes even. But the thing is, with these mechanical watches, I found myself using it for a few days, right? And using it a few days kind of fixes the problem of keeping the watch working, because if you use it every single day, it's gonna be working. You're not gonna be having any problems there. But it's not as accurate as your digital watch. So a few days later, you end up seeing that you have a few minutes lost here and there. And if you are used to being very accurate in terms of schedules and that sort of thing, kind of messes things up for you. So yeah, it's just one of those things. I'm not seeing it as a solid EDC option, at least not for me. I don't know how people do it with any of their automatic watches, if they're just readjusting the watch constantly. I feel it's a pain in the ass, honestly. Same lighter, the Elsa Zippo with the Thunderbird insert, still working after all these years, and I love it. I was just reading about someone mentioning, oh, you just have to get your Zippo and just put some tape so it doesn't dry up. That's a pain in the ass. Who does that? It really does make no sense whatsoever. You're going to be putting a rubber band or tape so that your Zippo doesn't dry up. How is that practical in any way? Even if you keep it like in a bag for emergencies, it's not even going to be as good as this. Because this is gas and it's going to be there years later. With liquid, with lighter fluid, it's going to be drying. There's really no way around it. I like lighters. I have a pile of them, and I like the romantic vintage feel of having your Zippo liquid fuel and such, but it's really not practical at all. Sometimes practical is what you want, especially when you combine practical with nostalgia, such as this combination here with the older Zippo case. That's something that I really like, just does it for me. I've been carrying a pocket piece. A pocket piece, if you're not familiar with it, is simply a piece of leather or maybe a stone or something that you have in your pocket that you just bring it out and just gives you good vibes. No, I don't believe in vibes, but there's a very logical explanation for fiddling with something in your hand. Even those spinnet spigots things that spin, yeah, those are for kids mostly. I see that there's some fancy ones for adults. I'd rather have a nice piece of history in my hand like this. Silver dollar from 1880, Morgan dollar. It's just a beautiful coin, and this one is the one I've been carrying lately. I have a few other options here. Some of these make the rounds. France, Spain, American half dollar. These are also coins that I end up carrying every once in a while. This is the one that's been in my pocket these last few days, and I find myself reaching for it quite often. And just fooling around with it. Really doesn't make any sense. Guess it has some psychological explanation, but it kind of works, and it's a good thing to have. Not always, but yes, every once in a while I get in a trend and stick with one coin for a few days, then change it for something different. In terms of a flashlight, this is the one that I've still been carrying the most. A Eagle Tech D25C. Why? Simply because it's so compact, just disappears in my pocket, and the button is recessed, and that clicky is just easy to reach, just very bright, keeping it with a whistle. Yeah, something like this is more practical in some way because you're using 14500 rechargeable batteries, and you can use AA standard batteries as well, but it's a little bit bigger as well, and sometimes you want something smaller. This is, I don't know how much, but 15% smaller. I guess that makes sense, but it's a form factor that's very comfortable. It's like a roll of mints, so it's not bothering at all. This isn't a big deal either, and I like that it's titanium, which is a little bit nicer. So these basically are in the rotation, this one being spending the most time in the pocket these last few weeks. One of the things I'm going to be talking about, or I probably did already, just check it in the previous video. I'm going to be doing a video on that. Should be the video right before this one, which is this key chain setup here that I have for my car. So you have my car key, house key, burglar, bar, car thing key, which I covered in another video, and these two little tools, which are fantastic. I have Victorinox Manager, this is the model, and a small Clarus Mini 1T. These two things are fantastic. Check out the size of these two, how small and compact this is, and how useful it is. I find myself using this flashlight a lot lately, and this small Victorinox also comes in handy a ton of times. So yeah, separate video for that, go check it out. Just saying that it's one of those little changes that I've made recently that has had a very big impact in how I feel about the tools I'm using, and this is something that I'm going to be sticking in for a very long time. I see that already. What else? In terms of hats, I have my Glock hats that I've been using these last few a couple years already, but I'm going to be using this one now, which I got in my Glock Armorers class, which is the original. I think this is not an original Glock hat, or if it is, it's an older one. I don't know. I like it still. It's a little bit, a little bit more worn in, so I have to put it some way. This one is a little bit nicer. I like this one quite a bit. It has a couple details, that button there on the top. This one is lacking that, and the gray color. So yeah, that's it. I've also been carrying a small pocket notebook on occasions, and this is because of what I'm working on for my next book. Just having a few ideas here and there, and whenever I'm thinking about something that I believe I'm missing for the book, I just write it down, make a couple quick drawings as to know what I want to explain later on, and then I do a nicer version of that. So as we have the ones I'm gonna be properly scanning and including in the book. So these are the proper drawings. The drawings are gonna be making the cut, but this is how the idea kind of starts. So yeah, and for that, also using these couple pens. This is my favorite pencil in the world. I have like 20 of these or maybe more. This is the Sabonis, I don't know what, P228 with a square lead. Square lead is just better for sketching and doing quick drawings and such, and then going over that with my cross pen, which leaves a nice black line which the scanner catches quite well. Makes it easier for digitalizing the drawings. So yeah, that's basically it. I think other than that, my keychain, which is the same as always, nothing new here at all. The Midnight Mini Champ, no, not the Midnight, this is the new Mini Champ with a pen instead of the flashlight, small through night T flashlight with a rechargeable. That's important. Remember, use rechargeable. Don't use those leaky bastards that ruin your flashlight. This is from IKEA, a rechargeable AAA battery. And you know, Pico mini pry bar and a small USB flash memory thing there. Guys, that's been all for now. Remember to subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell thing, because if not, you don't get any updates on future videos, which kind of sucks. So yeah, I don't know why that is, but it's the way it works. That's gonna be all. See you on our next video. Have a great day.